Welcome to It's All for the Kids. I'm Stevie G, and we got the infamous Gary Womack all the way from St. Louis, parent of Peyton. Hey, you know what? I know that it wasn't me that caused you to lose your hair. I know you're wearing that hat to cover it up,
What
but
are you talking about?
I do believe it's my little shadow, Peyton Womack, that's caused you to lose that hair.
He's got a job down the road a piece at a shelter workshop. First job he's had that he's ever really liked, like 32 hours a week. So I drive him to work every day. Debbie, his mom, drives him home, and there's not about it's at least once a week. He goes, "What's up with Stevie?"
Yeah. You know,
Hey,
well, I'm glad to
there's
hear that
like
because,
there's like four people in his lives he asks about. I'm not one of them. So it's
well,
you and then a bunch of other people. And I go, you know what? I got to you and Stevie together. I got to watch you guys, man. I got to keep my eye on you.
Well, yeah, because it was just last year that he was down in Orlando with you and me, right? He was with Stevie,
Oh
and
yeah,
man, I know one thing: he had a great time with Darren Willis and Jackie Gonzalez, right?
oh he had a blast. I mean, and it's one of those things where you and him met. Oh my God, I don't even remember how many years ago. It's over
It's
10.
been a few. Hey, don't age me, okay? Because what is Peyton now? 23, 24?
26.
What?
Yeah,
No, no,
yeah,
wait a minute. He's 26?
26. And you guys met. I think he was barely in high school when you met him.
Well, I know that he was, I think, 15 when we gave him the golf set of clubs in 2013. And we met in 2011 because I did the St. Louis charity golf tournament in 2012.
Yeah. But no, he it's one of those opportunities when you have a child with special needs that can't drive a car. All of his friends have kind of moved on. One of the things that you worry about socialization, but you also worry about self image and that kind of thing. And you treat him like a king when he comes in. Dad just sits back and takes pictures. I'm second fiddle, and
He still owes me $20.
he does owe you $20
He does owe me the 20.
when he comes home after visiting with y'all. He's got a lot of pride. He's got a lot of pride in what he did. He just has a self confidence and a swagger to himself that, as a parent, Debbie and I are just like, this is fantastic.
Well,
So
you might let everybody know because not everybody follows it all the years that we've done this, but you might just give a little background to Peyton being special needs because it was grandma, it's called Grandma Caesar's, right?
yeah, so Peyton was the third of four children. We had Savannah afterwards, which also you had a massive influence over. Um,
In a
and
good way. Hey, make sure you tell everybody it was in a good way, okay?
It
Because
was a good way. It was a good way. But the story with Peyton is that we got found out we were going to have another child, third child, and that was kind of at the beginning of. We had never had an ultrasound before because we never had a problem, and now they just do them to do them. And they kind of, when they did them, they saw some things they didn't like. Maybe it was going to be Down syndrome, maybe some other stuff. And then so then when he was born, uh, it was great. He didn't have Down syndrome. He was perfectly healthy. And then about 36 hours later, he started having these grand mal seizures, these massive seizures. And I'll never forget, he was born on July 3rd and July 4th. We're down, they're bringing in a crash cart and then they ship us because we're in a satellite hospital out in the burbs.
right.
They send us down to Children's Hospital, out of Barnes Children's Hospital, downtown St. Louis, and sat in a neonatal intensive care unit, NICU unit, for 6 days. Never went home. And so what happened? He basically had if your brain's basically split up into four major areas, and there's a lot of other sub areas, but he had problems in every area. Some one area he didn't have enough folds in the brain. Other
Right.
areas it was too big, and all this. So we started, started doing the medication, and perked along, a lot of physical therapy. He was very slow to develop in anything. Everything was delayed.
Right.
And he couldn't speak, and he was learning a talking board. So we got to about right before his 6th birthday, and they said, they couldn't do anything at that time. And about the 6th birthday, right before 6th birthday, we would go in and get EEGs every 6 months, see how things were going, and things weren't going very well. He was starting to have some issues. So they said, well, we're going to do surgery. And I'm like, well, what's the difference? Why can we do surgery now and you couldn't do it, when he was born? And they said, well, it's really, really risky. And the situation has gotten to the point now where if we're going to go in and we're going to disconnect the 2 hemispheres, because the side of the hemisphere that was working decently, not great, but decently,
Right. Yeah.
the bad side was coming over and getting into that, and eventually it goes over. And if it goes over, then it'll shut him down and he'll die.
Oh, shit.
So we're like, okay, well, this is a emotionally troubling decision to make, but it's really not difficult. Here's your 2 options. Okay, okay, fine. And we looked at the surgeon. We had a really good surgeon in town, but he was kind of on his way out, and they got this new guy, and we looked him up on the internet, and he looked like he was 10. And I was like, oh my God. And him and I are really close friends, and he has moved on to Tampa St. Pete, and he's head of child neurosurgery for John Hopkins Children's Hospital down there. So this is a pretty good guy, but the beautiful thing is when Peyton woke up from his surgery, and came out of recovery, he looked over at Debbie and said, I want to go home. He had never spoken a sentence.
Wow.
So it was always there.
Right.
But he had never been able to articulate it because there was so much stuff going on. And by them separating those 2 hemispheres, taking out some of the frontal lobe, cutting those connections, then the healthier side, I'm not going to say the great side, but the healthier side was able to do it. So he kind of, he basically operates on about a little less than half of what most normal human beings do. But as you've seen, I mean, he is athletic. We're getting ready to go. I got my Special Olympics shirt on. He's getting ready to start softball, and he plays basketball. He cut the grass yesterday. He goes to work every day, and now he's all excited because he's got 3 nieces and nephews and another one on the way. So he's top dog at the house now with all the little kiddos running around and stuff. But
oh, wow.
So, fast forward, you bring in a tournament to golf course right down our street. Peyton is the ambassador that year for Children's Miracle Network, and our Children's Miracle Network in St. Louis supports 2 hospitals, Cardinal Glennon and Barnes Jewish. We were at Barnes Jewish. And so one of the people within the Children's Miracle Network thought it'd be a good idea to have Peyton come out and, hang out at your tournament.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I remember, dropping him off, and then I had to go to work. And,
Right.
And she goes, he'll be fine, this is whatever with Steve and everything like that. And then he got, I guess it was you and a guy that was a big Walmart guy over in Illinois. I think his name was Jim. I can't remember.
Right. Yeah.
And y'all kind of took him around and everything.
Yeah.
He came home. He was a completely different person. He was a completely different person. He had self-confidence. He talked all day for weeks and weeks about the tournament, playing with you guys, and y'all just treating him as just a regular person, no disability, no nothing, having fun, cutting up. You know him. He loves to talk trash. So you and him.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
and
we were definitely talking trash because I remember sitting in the back by the silent auction items. We're bidding on stuff, and the 2 girls that were running that tournament, the Walmart deal, are like trying to get his attention to come up front to be the ambassador part. And he's like, no, I'm hanging back here with Stevie having fun, talking to all the girls and, talking trash and egging on everybody to place bets, like to bet on their auction items, right? So eventually they had to come over and get him and drag him up front.
Well, and that's the other thing is like after that happened, we were right at the beginning of the ambassadorship, and right after that happened, we were invited to go to Washington University, which is a very established, prestigious school here in St. Louis, college university, and they had a dance-a-thon, and so we're not going all night long, but so we go and we participate in there, and that same woman said, "Hey, Peyton, you want to say something to the crowd?" So there's music going on, and they're dancing, and these are all college kids, and they're going to be up for like 24 hours dancing. And so Payne's like, "Yeah." And he grabs the mic, and you think he's like some Eminem rapper or something. Like, "Whoa, let's go!" And he gets the crowd going. They go
Right.
berserk, because some of these kids are immobile, or whatever. They
Yeah.
they may not be able. And so he like goes down in the mosh pit, and he's hanging out with all these people and everything. And that was really born out of the golf tournament back in that day and what he experienced and how he was treated. Because I mean, we love him. We treat him like a regular kid. We never
Right.
did anything special. We wanted it to be as normal. But when other people come in there, they do that. And a lot of the things that were very helpful, like when we were at Children's, and that they have these little things down there that are sort of added value that aren't covered by insurance. Like if you've ever been to our Children's Hospital, there's an 8th floor atrium that looks like it's a botanical garden
Oh yeah, up there on the roof.
up on the roof, and you can just go and you can chill, and there's a chapel right there that you can go, and there's a library there, and so when you're there for all this time, it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of anxiety, it's a lot of fear, a lot of unknown, and to have that opportunity to have that place to go to, and the only way that they have that is by people donating money, because these are nonprofit institutions that don't have a ton of money.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
by your golf tournament, putting on your golf tournament and taking that money and giving it to the local Children's Miracle Network or the Children's Hospital or whoever you decide to go to, it directly impacts not only that young person, but it also impacts their family.
Yeah, and
And
see that's the part we never really think of, right? I mean, in our, when you want to say tunnel vision or your lane, swim lane, whatever people use, you're always thinking of what you're doing to help the kids, but you forget that you're also helping the mental capacity of the parents and all the stress they got because like you find out you and your wife had a choice to make, like, do I go see Peyton or do I go to work? I need the money, so I got to go to work, but I feel like I need to be with Peyton, at the hospital. And parents have to make that decision, you know, how many times a day, a year that goes on, however long your child is at Children's Hospital.
yeah, I mean, it's really amazing. I don't think people really think about it, but it's very impactful. I mean, I can tell your audiences that if you've never really been around, uh, not even kids, but people with disabilities, you know, sometimes people don't really even know how to interact with them.
Right.
And, you know, you've never seen the disability, you've always seen the person. That's just who Stevie is. And, like, one of the big things you can do is, like, if you're ever around a child or an adult that's in a wheelchair, a little bitty thing that you can do that changes the whole dynamic of the relationship is to drop to a knee. If you can walk, drop to a knee and look at them eye to eye. Just
Oh
silly
yeah.
little things like that make a huge difference. And but giving money and participating in these golf tournaments, you take that money and you give it back to the hospital or to the Children's Miracle Network, and that allows them to do these things that directly affect the well-being, the health, the well-being, and the mental health and well-being of not only the kids, but also the parents and the siblings and the grandparents, the family. And then it goes into adulthood for that young person if they're able to survive and to live just a very productive life. But I did want to digress just a little bit. So when your organization brought us down to Orlando for that tournament, which was just unbelievable. It gets the golf clubs, it gets all this kind of stuff. It's beautiful weather and everything like that. Well, one of the young ladies that you had brought in that I think played a little bit on the LPG
Yep.
tour,
Yep.
she
Stephanie.
became, she became a coach.
Right. Coach for Towson women's golf team over here in Baltimore.
Right. And she looked at Savannah, who was my daughter, the fourth, who was 3 years from high school at this point, and said, "Do you play golf?" And Savannah's like, "No," because I'd quit for 10 years. I mean, I'm an
Right.
avid, grew up playing golf with my dad, but for 10 years I quit because of the kids and just didn't play. So she had never really seen me play, occasionally with my dad, but that's about it.
Right.
And my daughter's like, "No, I didn't really play." And she said, "Well, you might want to think about it because I've got like some unclaimed full ride scholarships at the school that I coach." Well, she remembered that two and a
Right.
half years later, came to
Yeah.
me summer, said she wanted to play high school golf. And I'm like, "Where'd this come from?" Because I'd forgotten.
Right.
And I go give her lessons, and the pro thanked me to no end because she'd never picked up a club, so she had no bad habits, and she's
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
got one
Didn't
of
have
the
any of those that you and I have.
oh my gosh, but she has one of the most beautiful swings, and she played on the golf team all through high school, and just decided that she didn't really enjoy the competition, so she didn't want to play in college. But now, she's a rocket scientist. She's like some bio investigative
Yeah.
biology. I don't know what she's crazy smart. But now she has the ability that she can go play golf. And if they have an outing or something like that as a woman and you play golf, that's kind of a big up,
Yeah,
and
it is.
different things like that. So those are the things that Stevie and his organization and the people that volunteer and get involved in these things throughout the year, this is what you get to do for families. It's not just that person that's going having treatment at the hospital. The residual effects just reverberate all through the family, and then when you get to know Stevie, he sucks you in, and you can't say no. So then you're in
Well, that's
trouble.
true. That's true. I'm pretty good at that. I'm pretty good at speaking of sucking you in, okay?
All right,
And being a Tennessee person and naming Peyton after Peyton Manning and everybody, right?
right,
We're going to be down in Nashville, Tennessee, close to, it's not an hour drive. It's more than an hour drive over to Knoxville. But we're doing the charity golf tournament for Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, which I believe is Monroe Carroll Jr. at Vanderbilt University Hospital on September 26th. I'd like you and Peyton and Savannah and whoever else wants to come on over and play in it, because not only have we kicked it up from the days of 2012, 2013, and 14 when we first met Peyton and Cumming, we're now well connected with the NFL Alumni Association. So, like, we just finished a tournament in memory of my dad in Phoenix, for the veterans and Children's Hospital out there in Phoenix with the NFL alumni. And it had like 15 of the NFL guys come. We're going to have the NFL guys, the NFL alumni chapter of Tennessee, and some of the boys from Kansas City, J.C. Pearson and a few others from Kansas City fly in and play in that tournament on the 26th. So I just want to invite you and Peyton, to come on down and play. And of course, I know you never travel without your camera gear,
nope,
and it's a drive from St. Louis, so you don't have to fly. So I figured you could get the camera gear, and
absolutely,
we can have Dad roaming around taking video and doing video for the foundation and the kids and still shots and everything coming in on that 25th, 26th, and 27th. And I don't know if Peyton's ever been to Knoxville's Tennessee Stadium, which it probably has, or the Titan Stadium. We might be able to get him a tour of, because I know he loves going to stadiums,
Oh, he
and
loves it.
maybe we can get him to the Titan Stadium, the day before, or the day after the tournament.
He loves doing that. Yeah, I mean, that's my hometown.
I
That's where
know.
I'm.
That's
That's
why.
where I'm.
That's why
That's
I'm twisting that arm. Like,
that's
come
why
on,
I'm there.
Dad, come on.
So yeah, when you texted me the other day, I went ahead and put it on the calendar. He's asking off from work. I'm going to ask off for work. It's so much easier, and you feel so much better that you're able to like drive instead of fly because you don't want to have to spend that kind of money. And
Right.
it'd be nice, to get back down there. The last time we were ever in that area was a little over a year ago, when his grandma, my mom, passed away. So it was
Right.
it'll be nice to get down there. I have a lot of friends down there. I have a couple of guys that are retiring in TV. For those that don't know, I'm a cameraman for a TV station in St. Louis. That's all I've ever done my whole career.
Yeah,
Uh,
you used to be with Fox, right?
no, I've been here since '93, so it's always been with the CBS affiliate.
Oh,
But
okay. For
uh,
some reason, I thought it was Fox, and then you went to CBS.
no, but man, the NFL, it's pretty popular at my house. I just got through spending the money on the NFL ticket because he's got to watch his games on Sunday or
Hey,
I
hey, I
all day.
understand. Hey, so, but yeah, I'd love for you all to be able to come. We got it set up for you to be there. Like I said, we got probably at least, I know, 5, 6 NFL guys already, chomping at the bit. Al Dixon, that's now the new president of the Arizona chapter, has already reached out and said, "Hey, Stevie, when's the next one after Phoenix?" Said it's Nashville. Then we're going to Panama City Beach. Um, Not only that, but since last time we spoke, right? Because I've done clothing line, I've done the cigars, done all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, they've always asked me to do tennis tournaments, and I said I don't play tennis. I ain't doing tennis. Well, there's a new, craze going around called pickleball, and we hosted our first annual pickleball mixer in Phoenix. Okay, so we drew the line in the sand. We learned from it. Now we're moving out to where we're doing pickleball, and we teamed with a company called Valair that makes paddles. That's now making the Stevie G SGC Foundation paddle with the red trim around it, red on one side, white on the other, with the logo, the Dreamcatcher logo on the actual pickleball paddle.
That's awesome. That is very
So
cool. So
we've we
it's
got
nuts
picked up
around
some.
here. They're crazy about it around here. Oh my goodness, you got
Oh, I know. So now we've got pickleball, live music, and golf with the silent auction and raffles to raise money for the kids. So if anybody always asks where we're going, what's next, I can't tell you because I don't know what's out there, but we'll probably find it somehow, somewhere.
well. If you've got some people that are tuning into this that maybe has never gone to the tournament or one of your events, or you're thinking about it or whatever, I'll tell you a couple things. Okay, number one, you'll never regret it. Okay, because Stevie has a saying. What's that saying?
If it ain't fun, we ain't doing it, baby. If it
and,
ain't fun, we ain't doing
and
it.
everything is fun. Even when it rains, it's fun. Okay, so that's just the way it goes with. And and the times that Steve can bring out some of the young people that have been directly affected by these tournaments that are or will be directly affected by these tournaments. Um, I've just seen there's a difference. A golfer comes up, he or she, and they're all into it, and they want to give a little bit of money. They think that's great, and then all of a sudden they see one of these kids come up and maybe hit into a par three or take a putt from them or something like that, and the joy that they get, it just warms your heart, and you're like, I'm all in. I'll do this all day long, and it really is a benefit that you don't normally get when you're doing some type of golf tournament. It's different. And I would just really encourage you to do it. Stevie gives 100% of the proceeds after all the stuff he pays for to the local hospital, or Children's Miracle Network, depending on what organization it is. Um, and I just can't express enough how much of a difference this makes in the patient's lives, the patient's families' lives, the friends, and all that. I mean, it's just amazing, and it goes so much further past just the thing, you know. Now there are a little bit of some, I'm not going to say downside, but some kind of funny type things because Stevie gives all you this access. So these, you know, these kids get access that maybe they normally get and everything like that. And all of a sudden, so I'll give you a little story. So we decided we were going to go to a Cardinals game in town, and I had some people that were in the Cardinals front office, and we would get these sweet tickets and everything like that, and wine and dine. And one day I was like, well, you know what? Let's just go buy the tickets, and we'll sit up in the nosebleed, and we'll have a good time. And he gets up there, and he looks around, and he goes, "This is a bunch of crap. Stevie would never put me up here."
Oh gosh. Well, I'm sorry, Dad, about that. Because we did. You're right. Because we were down there in the Cardinals champions room with all the World Series trophies, food, able to go sit out in the seats right outside the
He
conference
just
room.
thinks that's how it goes, you know. And then getting him to these stadiums he goes to, you know, because I'm a news photographer by heart. I mean, I do production now, but I'm like total on the street news photographer, journalist, seen everything, done everything. And we'll go down here, and I remember going down to Georgia Tech, and they had the gate open.
Oh yeah.
So I said, Peyton, let's go. So we walked down there, and I said, now look, if anybody looks at you, you just wave and you keep walking. And we took a football with us, and we went right on that field, and we threw the ball. And he just thinks happens. That's what happens when you go to us. I'm like, no.
Exactly.
So he'll be excited about going over there to the Vanderbilt and going over there to the Titans. He'll love that, you know. And then I get to see a lot of my friends and family down there, so that it'll be a very special time. And you know, if the people watching this are able to come, you know, please come up, talk to Peyton. You know, he'll have a name tag or whatever on you. You ain't gonna be able to miss him.
Yeah,
And
you ain't gonna miss Peyton because first off, he's gonna be out there smoozing, talking trash to everybody, egging everybody on, and hey, and like he says, because he's copied it from his mentor Stevie. If it ain't fun, we ain't doing it.
I guarantee you will have the time of your life, and you'll all this will be a moment that you'll keep. You'll remember this day.
Oh, you know it. Hey, I know you're busy. I know you got to go do some videotaping. I'm just glad that, you know, some of the teams on that Thursday, it's actually that Thursday that we're doing the tournament. In the morning, Dallas is playing somebody. So it's not like the Titans are playing. Well, the Titans play that Sunday against Green Bay. So I might have to fly in early. But, you know, a lot of the other teams are playing on that Sunday. So it works out that Thursday will be okay for everybody to show up. And like I said, got a couple of the ambassadors for the Kansas City Chiefs coming. Peyton's going to love it because you'll be able to see their Super Bowl rings because not only does JC have the past two, he's been fitted for the third one, being an ambassador to Kansas City. So he's got all three of the latest Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl rings.
Well, and in the world of Peyton, this will be the second time he'll be able to look at somebody with the ring and put it on his finger because he did it back with when we were covering the Rams when they were in town.
Exactly.
So he's got to do that. Well, I can't wait. I wish it was next week.
Wow. You know what? I wish it was next week, but I am so thankful that it's not because I got a lot of work to do before, baby. You know that. It's like, hey, man. And we've even gone so far because we did it for Toby Keith in memory of Toby, you know, at OU guy and everything. We did the red solo cups and we did the aluminum stainless steel solo cups red with the Dreamcatcher logo on it and GTIF's PNA, I think it is, of the gaming sponsorship. So we've got a lot going on. It's different from the last time we met. So, hey, if you thought it was crazy and fun the last time you were with Stevie, wait till you get to Vanderbilt and Tennessee and then Nashville in a couple months.
Yeah, if you got anybody that's been to more than one tournament, they're never the same, and the next one is always bigger than the one before. And I don't know how you keep doing it, but you keep doing it, and I tip my hat to you on how you're able to pull that off.
Well, we got the new logo special for Nashville with the two guitars with the Dreamcatcher in between the two guitars. from Music City, Nashville, and everything. So we got live music, got the boys tuning up for that. So, hey, Gary, I look forward to seeing you. Bring the camera gear because I hate to tell you this, but I'm going to put you to work a little bit, okay?
I wouldn't have it any other way. Love you, Stevie.
Hey, I love you too, baby. Have a good day.
All right, you too, man.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Do you like a good cigar? Not me. I like a great cigar. And if you enjoy a great cigar, like these guys, then you want SGC cigars. Not only do you get a great smoke, but a portion of the proceeds from each cigar goes to help the children. And let's face it, it's all for the kids. And if it ain't fun, we ain't doing it. Enjoy.